Hey everyone, welcome back to this Protractor tutorial. So until now, we have been writing our scripts and we have been executing it in our terminal. And for the results part, we were just dependent on the logs which have been generated by Protractor in the terminal, right? So we can tell whether it has passed or failed depending on the logs, like one spec has passed and there are 0 failures. So we can say that our scripts have passed. But as you know, whenever you are working on an automation framework, reporting plays a very important part, right? Because you need to share the reports with your team members or with your clients in order for a project to be successfully automated, right? So you need also these reports for verification purpose, validation purpose, right? For your releases. So reporting plays a very important part. You need to have proper reporting in your framework, otherwise in your project. Otherwise, that project cannot be deemed complete, right? So today we are going to look at how you can generate HTML reports instead of these logs, which are generated in a terminal, because these are temporary and you cannot store them anywhere and store it as a report, right? So we'll see how we can generate a report and store it in our project, right? HTML reports. And we will also see how we can take screenshots when we are executing our scripts. Either we take screenshots for every script or we just take screenshots when there is a failure. And we'll also see how you can automatically add those screenshots into your report, right? So Protractor makes it very easy for you, right? So let's begin. So this is our script, default script, which we have been developing until now. And for generating the HTML reports, right? So there is an Npm module, which is called the Protractor Jasmine HTML Reporter, right? We need to install this Npm module on our machine in order to generate the HTML reports, right? So that has got some configuration which we need to perform on the Conf.js that we'll see. But first, what we'll do, we'll install this particular Npm module on our machine, right? So just open a command prompt and type this command and just hit enter. It will just take a few seconds to install this package. And as you can see, the latest version is 0.0.7. So that's one which is installed on my machine. So once this installed, that module will be available for you. And then you need to make changes to your conf.js in your project, right? So this is our conf.js, and we need to first kind of export that module, right? So that we can use that. So for that, we'll put it in a variable, right? This one. And let's do it at the top of this file, right? So this is our HTML reporter module, and we have stored it in this variable. Now we need to add some more functions to this conf.js so that it can generate the reports and store it in a folder. So for that, we'll use this function. I'm going to talk about all the different options available in this reporter module one by one. Okay. So after this, we say comma, and then we give this function. Let me remove all the other options here, and we'll just talk about these two options first, right? So savePath and screenshots folder, right? So this particular function will basically generate or add a new reporter, right? And under this new reporter, these are the different options. So one is save path. So this is the path where your reports will be saved, right? And this is the relative path of your project. So it will create a reports folder and store all your reports in this. You can change this according to your needs. Similarly, we have a screenshots folder, right? So under reports, there will be an images folder, which will store all our screenshots. Now, by default, this function will take screenshots for every test. Now, I will show you how you can disable that and only take screenshots during failures. But right now, it will take all the screenshots of your execution and store it in this folder. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and save this, right? and open a terminal and just execute this, right? So we see a failure. Why? So the error is it cannot find the module Protractor Jasmine to HTML Reporter. Now that's the error which we are getting, right? So from the error, I can tell you that it's not able to find this particular module. Now it can happen sometimes when specifically I'm currently working in a Windows machine, right? So it could be possible that it is not able to find this installation because in Windows, it is installed into a specific folder, right? So it's for me, it's installed under users, app data, roaming, npm node modules, and here is my HTML reporter. So in this case, what I can do is I can directly put the path, copy the path from here and put it here, right? So that it can find this module. So if you are facing the same issue, you can do the same, right? Now, when you're putting the path, don't forget to change this forward slash, right? Otherwise, it won't be the correct path. Now, I have knowingly shown you this issue so that whenever you face this, you can resolve this. That was the reason I did not put it beforehand, right? I wanted it to fail. Okay, so for now, let's save this file. And now you will see it is going to execute it on the terminal. Okay, so let's open the terminal and we'll go ahead and execute this Conf.js. Okay, so pretty simple script. It is executed. It should close the page now. We see it has passed. And as you can see, under the project folder, a reports folder is automatically generated. And if you expand this reports folder, you will see another images folder. Under images, there will be a screenshot. And then there is the HTML file, the report, right? Now, the thing is, it's just a HTML report with tags, so you cannot open it here. There is no other option to open it in the browser. So for that, you can open your project folder, right, in your Windows, and there you will see there is a reports folder. So now I can directly open it from here with a browser, right? So this is my HTML report. As you can see, it has opened in the browser, right? So login user is the definition which we have given right at the top, and then click login is the spec. Okay, so this is the time taken. There was one test, 0 skipped and 0 failures, right? Now, why it is showing this as skipped? And as you can see, test passed is also 0%, and it has taken a screenshot of what the execution did, right? As I said, it will always take the screenshots. So we will see how we can disable that. But for now, it is like this, right? Now, let me tell you why this is showing as skipped and test passed is also not 100%, right? The reason is, if you look at our script, right? So let's look at our login underscore spec. As you can see, this is a spec which has no validations, no assertions, right? So basically, we haven't written any tests here. We have just written an element which we are clicking on that. So that's a proper script, but we are not performing any validation or any test. So that is the reason Protractor is telling you there is no test in this particular spec, right? So to resolve this, what I can do is let's look at our other spec. As you can see here, I have written validations in each spec, right? Except the last one. So what you will see, we will see now 3 pass, and the 4th one, it will be shown as skipped, right? Because I have written expect statements in each of my other spec files. spec steps, right? So let's go to Conf.js, and what we'll do, we will change this to register underscore spec, right? And let's save everything here, and we will run this again, right, to see the changes. Okay, so that was our script, everything passed. And now we will go back to our report, right? So that's our HTML report, and we will open it with the browser again. Now, as you can see, this we are seeing the correct status, right? The test has passed or the spec has passed, and the percent is also 100%, right? So passed and 100%, 100%, and the last one is showing a skip because I don't have any test here, right? So that's what happens when you write some assertions or validations in your test. It will show you the correct format here in your HTML report, right? Now, to show you the other folder, which is the images folder, right? You will see there are 5 screenshots for each of our tests. It has captured a screenshot, okay? So if I open it, it is a normal screenshot. It will show you in the image path, right? Okay, so that's how you generate your reports, and you take screenshots by default and put it in this in another folder, right? So this is a screenshot. For each step, you can take a screenshot, but it depends how you want to configure your project. Okay, so let's look at some other options now. As I said earlier, so if you want to disable, right, taking screenshots, so if you go here and put another value here for take screenshots, so by default it's true, but I can change it to false, right? So now this won't take any screenshots. Okay, for now let's keep it true, but you can change it to false if you don't want to take any screenshots. So that's one option. Now the other option is, which I was talking about, take screenshots only on failures, right? So I want to take screenshots only when my tests fail, not when my tests pass, right? So you can keep the take screenshots to true, and you can also keep this take screenshots only on failures to true, right? Or you can keep either of one of them. Okay, so let me save this and run this again for you. Okay, so this time around, we should not be seeing any images, which is expected because we did not had any screenshots, right? So let's open this and verify this. As you can see, there are no screenshots which are taken, right? But we don't have any failures as well. So our configuration did not got into effect, right? Basically. So even though this is true, this is going to override this particular configuration, right? So that's what has happened. Now, let me go ahead and fail one of my scripts, right? So I'll fail this last one. I'll just change this. Okay. Now let's run, and this time along we should have a failed spec. So this time it will just take one screenshot, which is of the failure. So let's test that. Okay, so one spec failed, and we should have that in the report. Okay, so let's open this. And as you can see, none of them have screenshots, but our last spec, which has failed, has a screenshot. So it is telling us where it has failed, right? So pretty cool, right? You don't need to write anything additional for this. You just need to install the npm module for this and put the configuration. Okay. So that's what is about taking screenshots on failures or on every step, right? Now let's talk about some other options. So this particular settings, right? Let's put all the settings, and then I will explain you here these 4 settings or 4 configuration settings. Okay, so let's go one by one, right? File name date suffix. As the name suggests, it adds a date suffix to the file name, right? So at the end, it will add a date and time so that you can distinguish between your reports, right? So this, if you set it to true, it will by default add it to your file name. Now file name prefix is something which will be appended at the beginning of your file name, right? So I have given it Protractor, and then I have given file name as HTML report, right? And then file name separator. So between the file name prefix, suffix, and file name, this is the separator. Now you can change these settings according to your need, but these are all the settings. Okay, so if I run this report again, you will see a proper report will be generated with the name which we have given. So that is useful when you want to generate your own reports, right? Okay, so done. Now let's see our report which has been generated. Okay, sorry, I did not save the file, so that's the reason it did not generate. Let me quickly run this again and we will see. Okay. Okay, so now let's look at our report. So as you can see, the file name is something different, right? So this is the prefix, this is the file name, this is the suffix, which is the date suffix, right? Date and time it is taking. So by default, Protractor actually appends or completely changes the files, right? So you can also change that setting. You can keep all your files. You just need to change this configuration accordingly. Okay. So that's all about how you can generate HTML reports and take screenshots at the same time. And you can also change the configuration to just take screenshots on failures. Okay, so in the next video, we'll look at some other Protractor features and some other ways of creating scripts in an effective way to build this framework.